like this, we better go talk to Transport now and let these people get back to their tour.
Yeah, sounds good. As long as I get to drive.
Oh, not if I've got the keys.
Oh, nothing wrong.
Oh, man.
Now, these bungalows on your left house production offices for writers, directors, and producers who currently have development deals with the studio. Before these bungalows with production offices, they were actually dressing rooms for some of the major stars we had in the contract here. People like Jimmy Stewart, hence the James Stewart Avenue we're driving on right now. And check out Bungalow 5195 coming up on your left. That used to be the office of the legendary director Alfred Hitchcock, director of such classic thrillers as Vertigo, Rear Window, The Birds, and Psycho. Hitchcock was known as the master of suspense, and he's influenced pretty much every major director working today.
You said if you moved into that office, I said, no, I could never be in Hitchcock's office. Actually, a try, a museum.
Very exciting, just to know that he was there and walk by and know he was in that office.
Hitchcock has influenced every director. And I saw Hitchcock once walking around the commissary.
Hitchcock had his bungalow on the lot. I used to go see Alfred Hitchcock.
I loved working with him. I highly respect him. He really understood fear and terror.
The Birds, that was a really scary movie.
The Birds? Oh man, that had me looking at crows like for the next 10 years.
Psycho, of course.
Vertigo is one of the all-time great masterpieces. Hitchcock is a master.
All right, we've crossed into the back lot now. We shoot the big stuff out here, exterior scenes on a grand scale. Now, movies are based on illusions, at least in part. These metropolitan sets are a great example of just that. They may appear to be built out of brick and stone, but they're actually made of foam rubber and fiberglass over metal and wood frames. We call them facades, and they're really just the fronts and sides of buildings built that way because, well, mostly because we only bother building what the camera can see. And we reuse them. Over here on your right is Brownstone Street. That's where Paul Newman and Robert Redford flocked to the Academy Award-winning film The Sting, where Mindy Kaling lived on the Mindy Project, and where Jim Carrey lived in Bruce Almighty.
Brace the dog!
I'm in the shower!
Inside bad, outside good. Inside bad, outside good.
Oh, you're done now. Great.
Beautiful.
And I'm sure many of you are going to recognize the area we're turning into now. I'd like to welcome you all to Courthouse Square, otherwise known as Hill Valley, from Back to the Future, starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. The City Hall facade over here on your left is the clock tower from Back to the Future.
It was actually the back lot at the Courthouse Square that inspired the entire climax to Back to the Future.
I had seen the clock tower on that ledge. It was a ledge about that wide. And I was standing inside looking at the ledge, and I already had vertigo. I just thought there's no way in the world, no way I'm going to stand on that. I was up there for quite a while. Of course, I had a cable.
All right, we're gonna leave small town America behind for the big city that Big Apple hosts. We're turning down New York Street. This one comes complete with its own Park Terrace Hotel, its own theater district, and its own Macy's. Recently shot on this, the American Ninja Warrior had one of their spectacular obstacle courses set up for the semifinals. Quantum Leap, starring Raymond Lee and Ernie Hudson. Continuation of the great Scott Bakula series of the 1980s and 90s. But we can't talk about New York without somebody who really knows the town. So once again, here's Jimmy Fallon.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there by an old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking there. I'm walking there. Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
And the a lot of superheroes on our Metropolitan sets, like Captain America, the first Avenger. Remember that great scene where Steve Rogers goes from scrawny guy with a big heart to brawny guy with a big heart after they inject him with the super soldier serum. There's a big chase up and down New York Street where he's barefoot chasing a taxi cab, running on the top of cars, he tackles the cab. Well, they must enjoy that, and that's where you guys are going right now. It's time to wave goodbye to the faux concrete jungle of our Metro sets and say hello to the prehistoric jungle of Skull Island. Here's King Kong director Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8. I like films that just take you away from real life and sweep you up the edge. And Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board a ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
Now hang on to those 3D glasses. You don't have to wear them right now, but do hang on to them. I have a feeling we may be needing them a little bit later on in the tour. King Kong for 63D. It was brought to Universal Studios Hollywood by Red Digital and Peter Jackson, the Academy Award-winning director. That epic battle we just witnessed was created using some of the most advanced technology filmmaking today and conducted in the world by It's only I was driving, sir.
Directions, there's creatures coming at them, from one side and T-Rexes from the other side. Open up the movie, we always know what this good weather movie shot that we're working on. Here we are taking that people looking that direction. Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature song. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience. It's a hell of a ride.
Now, during King Kong 360 3D, a portion of this tram was pulled into the movie. When it was, it became a picture car. A picture car is any vehicle on a set that is seen by the camera, and sometimes they become just as famous as the stars who drive them. Or the stars who get driven over by them, for that matter. And over the years, picture cars become bigger, badder, and faster as audiences feel the need for speed. All right. Can't talk about picture cars without talking about the Fast and the Furious films. Some Jurassic vehicles, the gyrosphere without the plexiglass. The plexi was put in post-production with computer-generated imagery, or CGI, because they didn't want the camera reflecting it. Remember, angle of incidence equals angle of reflection. Anytime you point a camera at somebody, if there's glass or a mirror, you might end up in the shot. We call that a blooper, and it's not good. That'll cost you time. Time is a very valuable commodity when you're in production. Check out that tank from Michael Bay's Transformers. That's about 75% comprised of plywood. When it comes to building sets and things for movies, folks, it's good because it's just so easy to work with. You know, it's light, it goes up fast, it comes down fast. You can make it look like anything, metal, marble, brick, you name it, with the right production design. And while we're on the subject of production design, our next stop is the Jungle Islands off the coast of Costa Rica.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
All these sets and vehicles coming up were used in Steven Spielberg's original Jurassic Park films. This is the mobile lab that dangled precariously from that parking structure we drove past earlier. It was made up to look like a massive cliff face for this scene. This mobile lab's coming up on the left. Oh yeah, wow, that's how it always starts. And then later there's running and screaming.
I should be dead.
That was Groucho, Harpo, Cheeto, and Zeppo, four of the friendliest dinosaurs you're ever going to want to meet. That's how you say hello to dinosaurs. Projectile vomiting. Chock full of vitamin D and very good for your skin. So, now, folks, weather played an important role in that trip we watched in Lost, and it doesn't end with the television show, creating a quite new atmosphere for the scene. Weather affects all of the we hear in Hollywood, people not yet sunshine. The filmmakers have to create weather, and we're going to have a look at some of the ways they do it. This is Old Mexico, shot down here in the Showtime series Shameless, as well as comedy classics. Here we go. Naturally.
What happened there? They stand there. I saw the video. That I told you in 52 minutes. Just to let you guys know, there might be water coming out. Yeah, it's fake rain. It's gonna be flooding. It's gonna be what? Like what's right here? It's gonna be what? On the video there was a bunch of water.
Rain is created by an overhead sprinkler.
Yeah,
Here's the view. We just shoot water straight up in the air, but it's all natural. The problem is when you get too much rain, then it can lead to disaster, flash floods. got one headed right for us. Remember, folks, if you're sitting in one of the blue seats, well, you may get better for the day. That flood was caused by dumping thousands of gallons of recycled garbage from our state and hill. Here's what it looks like from actor Paul Giamatti's point of view of the comedy Big Fat Liar. Now we're taking you back across the border and back in time to the Wild West. Recently shot on these sets, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Remember that easy breezy scene between Leo and child actor Julia Butters, shot over here on the left on this porch. And you can see there's a little saloon in there. That's where they shot all the Lancer footage, all the stuff with Leo and Timothy Olyphant. But in the heyday of Western, these sets were wall-to-wall action. And our cowboys always looked larger than life. Part of that had to do with the way these sets are designed. Take a look around, you'll notice some of the doorways seem a little bit smaller than they ought to be. That's so when our actors stood in, they looked bigger and brawnier than they actually were. We call the street 6 points because it has 6 points, 6 corners. And back in the days of silent film when sound wasn't really an issue, each corner had its own bank, its own saloon, and its own jail. So we can actually shoot 6 different westerns on this street at the same time. And this is kind of the halfway point, folks. Just want to remind everybody to remain seated at all times. You guys have been fantastic so far, but just in case you drop your cell phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, reach out and pull that red cord, get my attention, I'll come back and sort it out. Please continue to remain seated on the tram. Just across this tranquil lagoon, in stages 30 through 33, we're working on season 24 of The Voice, with Reba McEntire joining the cast of coaches. Incidentally, that tranquil lagoon is the original Black Lagoon from the cult classic The Creature from the Black Lagoon. And professional diver Rico Browning, who played the creature in the underwater sequences, trained himself to hold his breath up to 5 minutes at a time. The logic being that if the creature breathed through its gills, there shouldn't be air bubbles ascending to the surface from any kind of scuba, but 5 minutes? Try holding your breath for 1 minute. No, don't do it now, guys. Your bodies will crumble as your minds collapse into madness. But while we're on the subject of creature features, just up ahead of us is Little Europe. It's where we invented the monster movie. We call these sets Little Europe because they can look like many of the cities in Europe, simply by changing the language on the street signs, the buildings, adding the appropriate vehicles and props and color schemes. Recently, these sets doubled as The Afterlife, or The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, I've never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
And what I love about these sets is that in the daytime they look like The Afterlife and The Good Place, but at night they look like the kind of place Frankenstein and the Wolfman would be roaming around, and they're both. It just all depends on how they're lit. These sets doubled as Rome for Ron Howard's Angels and Demons, starring Tom Hanks, Port Royale and Parts of Tortuga for Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, and 3, starring Johnny Depp. This is the Court of Miracles over here on the right, looking very pleasant and quaint compliments of The Good Place, but that wasn't always so. The Court of Miracles is where many of the famous monsters got their start. It got its name from a Parisian square in the novel The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It was made into a movie in 1923. And that's what kicked off the monster movie craze.
When you think of Universal, we think of monsters.
Dracula,
Frankenstein,
Wolfman,
Bride of Frankenstein,
The Mummy.
The Hunchback of Notre Dame,
The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera.
classic films. They're just brilliantly made.
That Frankenstein image, flathead, bolt, it's one of the great icons of the world.
That to me was like the essence of the Universal horror film. And I was just mesmerized by these movies.
Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
And just up ahead of us at stage 50, we shot some key scenes from the series Bones, starring David Boreanaz, who came on the scene playing a monster. He was the vampire with the soul angel in Joss Whedon's Buffy the Vampire Slayer in the 90s, then had a spin-off from that series, his own series animated, and then Bones. And Bones ran for 12 seasons, so it was just a little successful. But it did wrap, so we get to go inside and have a look around. You don't need 3D glasses for this, we're just checking out a cool film set, but I'm going to bring up a little of the scene that was shot in here, so we have a good reference as we go now.
Oh, I remember this. It's got earthquake was.
That's it.
You alright?
Even though Bones is set in Washington, D.C., this is dressed to be a subway station underneath the Embarcadero Plaza in San Francisco. All we really have to do is change the look. All right, from one natural disaster to another of sorts, keep your seats as we make our way into Amity Island, a lovely little tourist town that was once terrorized by a man-eating great white shark. Locals had a name for it, Jaws. As you can see, the shark has been caught. There's a diver on the scene right now doing the final swim to the harbor. Wow, it was a big one too, look at that. Shark that size, swallow you whole. Look at the shark's eyes, he's got black eyes, lifeless eyes, like a doll's eyes. When he's coming at you, he don't seem to be living. Taking the bait, he's taking the whole dock. Remember, campers, gas and electricity. Illegal combination. That's about the most fun Gerald and I have all day watching you watch the shark. It's the screams that keep us going. You've just come face to face with Bruce the Shark. Director Steven Spielberg named him after his lawyer, with love and respect, of course. But check it out, it's the only shark around that swims in reverse, which is pretty impressive. And Bruce the Shark was just as much of a terror off screen as he was on. In fact, on the first day of filming Jaws, Bruce sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. From the cast, the crew that nicknamed the production Flom.
That's a much blind shark. The shark was frustrated. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on time, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, "The shark is not working. Repeat, the shark."
We just waited around. We just waited. The shark worked well enough. For a while there, we had the days of cold. So I really owe the shark a lot.
Now coming up on your right is Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch. This was built in 1982, and it's been used in countless productions. It's an example of a practical set, which means we can shoot inside or outside. You know, most of these sets we're driving past are just shells for exterior shots, and then the interior footage will be shot in a soundstage. But some of them, like this one, are practical sets where we can do both. The way this one works, the walls inside can come apart and move around, making room for our cameras and equipment. And this is a treat. We don't drive down this street very often. It's a very popular spot for production. We're turning down Colonial Street, otherwise known as Wisteria Lane, for ABC's Desperate Housewives. This beige house on the left is where Gabby lived, in Longoria. And 1431 right next door is actually 1313 Mockingbird Lane, the original Munsters house from that classic series. Head across the street to the right, this pale blue house is where Tom Hanks lived in the movie The Burbs. If you haven't seen The Burbs, check it out. That's a really fun Tom Hanks comedy from the 1980s. Actually, Tom Hanks spent a lot of time on the street. He also did Lady Killers here with the Coen brothers. Recently shot on Colonial Street, Mindy Kaling's series Never Have I Ever, as well as commercials, music videos, feature films like Why Him with Bryan Cranston. Had this whole street decked out in fake snow for a Christmas sequence in Why Him. And Bryan Cranston was so much fun on that shoot. He's such a nice man, very, very friendly, always waving at the trams and running after the trams, jumping on the back of the trams. Eventually we had to call the production and say, hey Brian, we love it, it's great, but come on man, it's dangerous. And this isn't a Winnebago and you're not Walter White. Hold on, he is Walter White, isn't it? But we don't do any braking bad here. Sometimes our driver Gerald will brake appropriately on Colonial Street. That brings us to our wilderness area, folks. Picture Sandra Bullock out here with a blindfold on. We've got pickups from Bird Box out here, as well as scenes from 911 starring Peter Krause and Angela Bassett. What are pickups? Good question. Pickups are shot after principal photography has wrapped. Let's say you're a director, you're sitting in the editing room, and you realize, hey, I missed a couple of shots. Well, you go back and you shoot pickup shots, but it can be tricky, because by then you've probably spent your production budget and most of your actors have moved on to other commitments. So sometimes you have to get creative. Maybe use photo doubles instead of your actors, and shoot them over the shoulder, or re-edit the scene in a way that plays better, or rewrite the script for that better. Remember, it's not how well you can make a movie, folks. It's how well you can make a movie under the circumstances. Now you make it well enough, then you get a sequel. We call this next area Picture Cars, the sequel. And we're about 15 minutes out. Going to have you back at the theme park in no time. Remember to pull that red cord if you need me, and remain seated. Picture Cars, the sequel. Not the greatest title in the world. How about Picture Cars 2.0? Picture Cars Maverick? I've got it. Rise of the Planet of Picture Cars. Yeah, it's a work in progress. But check out those 2 minis that double-decker bus from Mr. Bean starring Rowan Atkinson. Here's Bumblebee. Talk about Picture Car Multiverse. Picture Car Multiverse, that's the title. Couldn't have done without you. Smith's Piano Service, that old jalopy is from the Coen Brothers' Oh Brother Art Thou, starring George Clooney. And the police cruiser beside it, from Michael Mann's Public Enemies, starring Johnny Depp and Christian Bale. And hey, while we're on the subject of Public Enemies, folks, these next 2 sets are probably the most famous sets still standing in Hollywood. And home to Universal's Public Enemy #1, Norman Bates. Well, if the house looks a little bit small, it's because it's 3/4 scale. It was built that way so Norman would look bigger and more menacing when he stood in the doorway. Now, when Hitchcock released Psycho in 1960, he had a difficult time getting it past the censor's office because of this infamous shower scene. They were shocked and demanded he make changes. But he knew after they'd seen it once, they'd be slightly desensitized to it, so he sat on the footage for a couple of weeks and then resubmitted without changing a frame. This time, they accepted the footage. They even sent him a nice note thanking him for making those changes he never actually made. Pretty savvy operator, Mr. Hitchcock was. And just beyond the Psycho House, one of the most impressive sets ever created, the spectacular crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, starring Dakota Fanning and Tom Cruise. This is all that's left of the neighborhood they hide out in. That's a real plane, by the way, a real 747, destroyed just for this scene.
Set that is all designed around a vision of Steve.
Yeah, this is the guy we talked about earlier. That's why what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing great. Listen, man. Listen, now. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Just got them closed. Robbie, get in.
It is.
Get in.
This is what
We've been very fortunate to work with generation-defining directors like War of the Worlds director Steven Spielberg, and now we're thrilled to be partnering with another Academy Award winner, Jordan Peele. And in a moment, we'll be taking you to Jupiter's Claim, the actual sets used in Jordan Peele's sci-fi thriller Nope, starring Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer. Here's Jordan.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, the nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking room and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Why? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, gold rush frontier town, lies a smack dab in the center. Welcome to the world of No.
Well, that's what it sounds like to be ingested by a UFO. And we were going to have you all ingested by a UFO to that effect, but it seemed like a little much. You never can tell how long an alien abduction is going to take. We'll do you one better, though, folks. We want to inject you into a movie, into the most successful franchise in Universal's history, in fact, like nitrous oxide into a high-performance engine. Everybody stay seated. In fact, hold on tight, because we're all about to become characters in the Fast and the Furious.
Look, this might be more serious than I thought. What just happened? This is a secure line.
I'll tell you, boy. I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason Boogeyman makes his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason he just lost control of this whole operation. My name is Special Agent Luke Hobbs of the U.S. Diplomatic Security Service. And as of 16.917, I'm the man in charge.
The hell you are?
Let me clue you in on two things, sweet cheeks. One, there's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And two, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come. He'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. But now, enjoy the ride.
This is what we doing. This is the race. They after the party. And where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Them?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. Cop, I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of tonight.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate. Shaw tricks us. Ops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roll your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
All my folks, stay low, stay seated, we'll get through this. That sounds like gunfire out there. You better put all those bulletproof 3D glasses again.
That obviously means there's gonna be shooting alpha.
shit. They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys look it up. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
It's been 22 years since we started this
Boots on the ground, on location. The more movies we make, the
We continue to outdo ourselves.
We'll make everything busy like right in the middle. You are now in Toronto.
I just have been glad to participate in this. It's such an honor to be part of this family.
That's the problem with having such a big family. How do you choose the ones you save?
All right, on behalf of Gerald, myself, and all of us here at NBC Universal, it has been a pleasure showing you all around. To our pass holders, thank you for being with us tonight. For those of you who aren't pass holders, visit Universal box office or any of the upgrade kiosks. See how you can turn today's ticket into an annual pass and return a lot more times than that. Download the Universal Studios Hollywood app. That'll get you showtimes, wait times, and up-to-the-minute park information. Like showtimes for Waterworld, or to confirm the park closes tonight at 10 p.m. Have a great rest of the day here at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Like we say in movies, that's a wrap.